I welcome everybody to another basic microbiology class. Today, we want to continue on the second part of infectious diseases. We'll focus more today on viral infectious diseases. We're going to talk about few among the viral infectious diseases that are available. Our first viral infectious disease is influenza virus. Influenza virus, they are commonly known as flu. It is a highly contagious respiratory illness and is spread through respiratory droplets when infected individual coughs or sneeze or talk. Then a susceptible person inhale these droplets and become infected within the next 24 to 48 hours. The virus have three types. We have the influenza A, B, and C. Out of the three, influenza A is the most important and the most frequently observed among the influenza virus because it easily undergoes mutation and it keeps occurring yearly, seasonally, and all that. It is responsible for epidemics and pandemics all over the world. This is one of the most persistent viruses that is known. The other types, B and C, are not usually encountered. The influenza B typically causes milder illness, although influenza A also causes milder sickness, but is most common. But B usually have a milder illness than A, but it can also lead to annual outbreaks if care is not taken. While influenza C does not occur all the time. It is rare and it is rarely associated with outbreaks. These viruses can be transmitted via air droplets or person-to-person routes. It usually replicates at the upper respiratory part and the mucosa of the nasopharynx, and it results into pharyngitis. The incubation period is usually 24 to 72 hours. Now, let's look at the symptoms of influenza virus. Most people that have this virus usually come down with fever, some with cough, sore throat, runny nose or stuffy nose. Then we have muscle aches, headache, fatigue, loss of appetite, and so on. Among all these symptoms, the most prevalent symptoms include cough, sore throat, runny nose, and stuffy nose. These are the most common cases, most observed symptoms among infected individuals. Usually, it is a mild infection. It's expected to resolve itself after few days, except in severe cases when individual is having underlying disease or underlying uh, condition that may compromise his or her health. Influenza virus is also a zoonotic disease. It's responsible for zoonotic diseases. What do we mean by zoonotic disease? Zoonotic disease are those type of disease that can be transmitted from animals to humans. And influenza A virus are the most common zoonotic influenza virus. They are usually associated with domestic animals such as birds, poultry, pigs, dogs, and so on. They are also associated with wild animals. Bat in particular is a very strong reservoir for many influenza A viruses. There are other animals such as rodents, marine animals, and other wildlife. They are associated with this influenza virus, and it is a zoonotic virus. The transmission of influenza virus from animals to humans can occur in two ways. It can be direct or indirect transmission, or consumption of undercooked or exposure to airborne virus. Now, for direct transmission, this can occur through contact with infected animals or their secretion, perhaps saliva, body fluids, feces, or respiratory droplets from the animals. When people get in contact with such, then they are directly infected. For indirect transmission, can occur via contaminated surface used by animals, for instance, their cage where they sleep, the equipment used for animal care. When such uh, instruments or such devices or such apparatus are used by animals and they are contaminated, and then get in contact with humans, it can be infected. People that consume undercooked meats, especially for poultry, are also at the risk of infection. Then exposure to airborne viruses, although this is less common, but it can occur in certain cases, especially where we have intensive poultry farms or live animal markets. So the airborne may be infected already, and people can actually inhale this virus in this situation. Examples of some zoonotic disease associated with influenza virus. We have the avian influenza A, designated as H5N1. We have the swine influenza. We have the equine. The avian is associated with poultry, birds in particular, chicken, and so on. And it has caused human infection that have been reported before, although human to human transmission is limited, but animal to humans, such as avian, birds to human, has been observed. Then we have the swine influenza, which is responsible for the 2009 H1N1 pandemic. It causes widespread illness and death, and it is also a contagious virus. It circulates in pigs, and it is one of the zoonotic viral infection known. The last one, which is equine virus, is not really common, but it's usually associated with horses, and it can also infect humans directly. Prevention of influenza virus is usually by frequent hand washing with soap and water. In a case where soap and water are not available, people can use alcohol-based hand sanitizer and avoid close contact with infected people or people showing symptoms of influenza. All the symptoms we describe, when you see people showing these symptoms, that you stay away. You stay home when you are sick, when you are observed that you yourself you are having some of these symptoms. You stay home so that you don't spread the virus. You can wear masks in a crowded place where especially you are caring for someone who is sick. Then you maintain a healthy lifestyle, which includes regular sleep, resting, eating a balanced diet, and exercising regularly. When you do all these, you are sure to be safe from influenza virus. The next one is viral diarrhea disease. Viral diarrhea disease are common illness which is associated with loose bowels when people pass out watery stools, and is often accompanied by other symptoms such as vomiting, abdominal cramps, and fever. It is a digestive system failure which is associated with infection of virus. Virus causing this includes norovirus, adenovirus, rotavirus, astrovirus, and saprovirus. These are commonly associated with viral diarrhea disease. Although not only virus can cause diarrhea, diarrhea can be caused by microorganisms of any particular species, such as bacteria, fungi, protozoa. But we are looking at infectious disease caused by virus, and these are the notable viruses that are involved in viral diarrhea disease. And the symptoms of viral diarrhea disease includes loose bowel and watery stools, nausea and vomiting, abdominal cramps and pain. Sometimes we have fever and loss of appetite, headache, muscle aches, and so on and so forth. So some of these symptoms may occur together, and in some cases you may see one or two of these symptoms occurring. Prevention. How can we prevent this from happening? Usually, viral disease are self-limiting. That is, it can resolve itself within few days to a week, except in complicated cases. So we can prevent this by regular hand washing, avoid contact with people who are sick, cook food properly. If you are eating food such as fruits, vegetables, make sure you wash them thoroughly. Ensure you drink a clean and safe water, and disinfect your surfaces such as table, chair, railings. When you touch surfaces, when you get home, you wash your hands and use disinfectant. Then, also make sure you get vaccinated against these viruses. And it is important to stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water, because when people pass out these water stools, lots of electrolytes are lost. So it is important that in cases where people are having this infection, they need to replenish the system by taking electrolyte rich drinks that can help them to restore their system. Our next viral disease is hepatitis infection. Hepatitis itself means inflammation of the liver. That is, the word hepa is referring to liver, and hepatitis is a kind of infection. So hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver, but we are particular about the viral hepatitis. Now, the liver itself is an organ that processes nutrients, filters the blood, and fight infection. So when the liver is inflamed or damaged, then its function is already affected. Now, there are many things that can cause inflammation of the liver. It could be caused by various factors: drugs, some use of drugs, alcohol abuse, and some immune disorder can lead to inflammation of the liver. Now, virus is also one of the causes of inflammation of the liver, and it's most common. And since we are discussing viral infection, our attention is drawn to hepatitis infection. So hepatitis Viral hepatitis is most common cause of hepatitis, and it is caused by 5 different viral strains, namely hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. Among these, the most common of them all is hepatitis B, which often leads to liver cirrhosis in severe cases. So that is when people have hepatitis and severe, especially with hepatitis B, then there is tendency of such to lead to liver cirrhosis. Liver cirrhosis can lead to cancer, liver cancer. And when there is liver cirrhosis or liver cancer, now we are talking about terminal disease. Transmission. Hepatitis A is usually spread through contaminated food and water. Hepatitis B virus is spread the same way HIV is transmitted, that is, contact through bodily fluids such as blood, saliva, and other body fluids. And it could be via sexual contact, sharing of needle, and from mother to child during birth. While hepatitis C primarily is spread through blood-to-blood contact, and this can be by sharing of needles or mother to child. It is not spread by sexual contact. It is only hepatitis B that can be transmitted through sexual contact, while hepatitis D virus actually requires the presence of hepatitis B virus to replicate. So that is, hepatitis D usually occur as a complication from hepatitis B, while hepatitis E is usually as a form of transmission through food and water. It is similar to hepatitis A virus. So among the types of hepatitis virus, hepatitis B is the most prevalent and is the most encountered, and it is the most dangerous. What are the symptoms? The symptoms of hepatitis can vary depending on the cause and severity of the infection. Some common symptoms of hepatitis include fatigue, loss of appetite, nausea and vomiting, abdominal pain. Some people can pass dark urine and have a pale stool. In some cases, they have jaundice and joint pain, and some people will have fever. These are symptoms associated with hepatitis, but like I said, it is not all symptoms that can be seen. Sometimes some people exhibit all the symptoms, while some do not exhibit it. And hepatitis A is usually comes in a mild sickness. It revolves on its own and does not cause any chronic liver disease. While hepatitis B is also can be mild and it can be severe in chronic aspects, and it usually lead to cirrhosis, liver cirrhosis, and cancer. And hepatitis C can also be chronic and can lead to liver cirrhosis if left untreated, while D may not lead to this case unless people are already infected with hepatitis B and it's not well treated, then it can worsen the situation. Hepatitis E causes mild illness and it can be severe among pregnant women. So let us look at the treatment and prevention of hepatitis infection. The treatment for hepatitis depends on the cause and severity of the infection. So there are antiviral medications that are available for hepatitis B and C, while hepatitis A typically resolves on its own. It is usually a mild infection. Other treatment may be used to manage the symptoms and prevent complications. So that is, the symptoms that shows up are treated. If it's headache, you can take pain reliever. So if it's body ache, you can take pain reliever to manage all the symptoms. So the symptoms can be managed based on how they appear. And vaccination against hepatitis A and B is available to prevent infection, and people should practice safe sex to avoid transmission of this virus. Don't share needles with anybody. Avoid contact with body fluids of other people who may be infected. You won't know if they are infected, so you have to avoid contact with people's body fluids. When people drink alcohol, it must be in moderation, or you stay away from alcohol completely, because alcohol is a predisposing factor that can lead to inflammation of the liver, and people should maintain a healthy weight and diet. You check your weight regularly and ensure you are not overweight or obese. This can give your liver a lot of work to do. Get regular checkup all the time and test regularly if you have hepatitis so that you can treat the infection early enough. So, we will look at the last viral infection, which is West Nile disease. West Nile disease is caused by a single-stranded RNA virus that is responsible for West Nile fever. It is a member of the family Flavidae from the genus Flavivirus. Now, these flavivirus are responsible for Zika virus, dengue virus, and yellow fever virus. Among all these, some of them are not common. For instance, Zika virus is endemic in the United States, yellow fever is in Asia. So these viruses are sometimes geographically located. Yellow fever have been extincted in some places where they have vaccine. Some places now they don't experience yellow fever anymore because of the vaccine that's being given. So the virus is primarily transmitted by mosquitoes, especially Culex mosquito, and it is the primary host of West Nile virus. And birds too are also primary hosts. So both mosquito and birds have a bird to mosquito transmission cycle of this virus, and when the mosquito bites human, then it transmits the virus into human and human become infected. Mosquitoes are not infected, birds are not infected, they are just carriers. They are the one that harbors this virus and they help to transmit it to humans. The symptoms of this virus include nausea, vomiting, and usually these viruses are normally similar symptoms, except for this there are swollen lymph nodes, skin rashes, fatigue. Most individuals infected with the virus don't show symptoms, especially people can show mild flu-like symptoms which can resolve on its own within 2 to 14 days after being bitten by a mosquito. And there are no specific treatment for West Nile virus. West Nile virus does not have any treatment. Individual symptoms may be treated, such as headache, body ache can be treated with pain reliever. Skin rashes can be taken care of by certain ointments. Vomiting may be stopped. Fatigue may be boosted with glucose, and so on and so forth. But there are no specific treatment for these viral diseases. Now, these are few among plethora of viral diseases that are common, but we just highlight few, and these few represent one of those common viral infections that are common. Thank you. Ensure you subscribe, like, and share for others. Thank you very much.